Hello everyone! Spring has officially sprung. Today marks my freedom, no homework or work for a whole week, except for on Tuesday, but I'll get into that later. Video responses! Hannah, I am still registered to vote in Lions, except that my ballot is also in Lions, and so I'm trying to get my parents to illegally vote and sign for me and turn it in, which my mom for some reason is hesitant to do so. But if I were am able to vote, I would vote against housing in Bone Park. I talked to both David and my dad about this a little bit, and as far as I can tell, there's no way for them to guarantee that flood victims are going to be the people living in the housing. And this isn't the be-all, end-all solution. Like, if this isn't passed, they're not going to just give up and not do anything else. They're going to try and think of a better option. So I'm pretty much voting to say, go think of a better option. Plus, once you turn a park into not a park, it can never go back to being a park. Like, for the rest of human existence, people are going to live on that land privately. It's not going to be open to the public anymore. It's not going to be able to support an ecosystem. It's not going to be nature anymore. And that's something I just can't get behind. However, I will say, this is one of the only issues I've ever voted on where I've been pretty informed on both sides, and I've had a really hard time figuring it out. I think that says a lot about our political system. I care so much more about a local issue than I ever would about who the president is. I mean, the president realistically doesn't even do that much. And whether or not housing is going to be built in Bond Park is probably going to affect me for the next 20 to 30 years simply because that's my hometown, and it's going to directly affect the citizens of that town. And yet, only 26.6% of voters vote locally, whereas 60% of people vote in the presidential elections. Wake up! Anyways, I love your new Box of Memories segment. I feel like you are actually the keeper of our memories. I mean, first of all, you actually collect and hold on to these little things like the Ice Castles ticket. And two, you can actually remember things. David, how come when we're bored, you can't think of anything for us to do, but when you're in Fort Collins, you manage to create an entire new sporting event and have Olympics for it? I think you should bring some of that creativity home with you. So, the reason I am not coming home for spring break is because I am leading a visit to Groupon headquarters, so students will have a chance to see what that company is like and meet with recruiters and ask questions about how to get hired and how not to be idiots. But it's on St. Patrick's Day, which is good for me because I am going to stay in the city with Brian and Katie and Rebecca that night, but it's bad for me because my supervisor and I are going to have to navigate the streets of Chicago with a bunch of drunk people wandering around. So that's on Tuesday, and then Lacey's coming to visit on Wednesday. Yay! But that doesn't really leave me a big window to make it to Colorado. And I wasn't really too worried about it until I had this conversation with David. And then I kind of panicked because the whole 4,500 hours thing did not help me at all. But I have some very good news, people. Very, very good news. I am coming home in April! Yay! Lauren and Dylan are driving out in late April and I am tagging along. April 25th is my mom's birthday, so that day will be devoted solely to her. And April 27th is my sister's birthday, so that date will be devoted all to her. But April 26th is World Intellectual Property Day, also known as the day I'm hanging out with all of you guys. It's a Sunday reserved just for you all and intellectual property. So clear your calendar because Katie is coming to town. But I have some good people. I do have good people, but did I say 27th? April 27th